Thank you for watching this quick demonstration of the Trustgrid Remote Access solution. In this video, I'm going to be giving a quick demonstration of the Trustgrid Remote Access product. In this demonstration, we're going to be seeing a remote user accessing a private data center application through the Trustgrid Zero Trust network. The user's traffic is going to be forwarded to the Trustgrid multi-tenant cloud, onward to the private data center where the Trustgrid node software is deployed, and ultimately to the data center application itself. Let's start by looking at how an administrator would create a new remote access application within the Trustgrid Management Portal. We go to the Applications panel, we click on Add Application, we then select the type of application we want to access. In this case we're going to choose RDP, but VNC, SSH, and Web are also options. We enter in the name of the application. You can select an icon that an end user will see when accessing the application from the end user portal. A description, we then select the remote site where the server exists. In this case, we're going to select a private data center that is running the Trustgrid node software. We then select an identity provider that remote users will have to authenticate with when accessing the application. In this case, we're going to select a Google G Suite account. We then enter in the private IP address at the remote site where the server exists. At this point, the application has been initially configured. We can see it in our applications list. I'm now going to jump over to the end user portal, where we can see the list of applications that this user is allowed to access, but we do not see the application that we just created, and there's a reason for that. If we jump back over the administrative portal and we go to visibility, we can see no groups have yet been given visibility into this remote application. So at this point, we're going to give visibility to the development group, and at this point the development group users should be able to see this in their end user portal. If we go back to the end user portal, refresh, we can now see the application show up. The application at this point still cannot be accessed. To do that, we need to go configure the access policy for the application. We add an access rule, give it a name, select an action for that rule, in this case allow, but block and bypass are also options. We then select the include criteria that this rule will match. We can enter in multiple criteria here, but in this case we're going to enter in IDP group of developers. We could also add more include criteria if we wish. We're then going to add a requirement clause that specifies this rule only matches if these users are logging in from the United States. So in this case, we're going to geofence the authorization for this access policy. We then go click Save. And now I'm going to jump back over to the end user portal. And at this point, this user should be able to access this application since he is a member of the development group and I am accessing from the United States. So we're going to click on the app. We're asked to sign in with Google G Suite. Let's do that. Now we can see the remote RDP console, select the user we want to log in as. And now we're logged into the remote server. If we jump back to the application portal or the administrative portal at this point and click on sessions, we can see the current sessions that are active as well as ones that have already been completed. Right here we can see the session that I just created, the public IP address, the session start time, the server IP of the server being accessed as well as port, as well as bytes received and bytes sent. We can also see the option to terminate this session if the administrator so chooses. Let's do that now. If we jump back to that RDP session, we can see now it's been closed and is no longer in use. Now if we refresh, we can see there are no more active sessions and we see the session that we just opened is now completed. If we click on access logs, this gives us a list of all authorization decisions performed for this app. In this case, we can see the decision to allow access for the user a bit ago, and we can see which access rule was the one that matched, thus allowing this access. For more information, please visit www.trustgrid.io.